The investigation dates back to December when investigators stopped 3 vans leaving Fulton County Airport. They allegedly found 520 pounds of marijuana worth about $1 million on the street. Evidence investigators are now using an old Instagram post from the next day that refers to $1 million lost.
Alright, so there's a rapper by the name of Ralo that was just sentenced to 8 years in the feds. Now, a lot of y'all probably not familiar with him, but he was signed to Gucci Mane and got arrested back in 2018 for trafficking marijuana. At the time of his arrest, he had built a name for himself. His music video got millions of views. He had interviews with Vlad and Say Cheese, and he even owned an entire apartment complex in Atlanta that he called Pakistan. I don't know why he called it that, but people that lived in his apartments lived there rent-free. But that's just like the surface level of things. Feds dug a little deeper and they found out that he was the leader of a whole drug operation. So basically, Ralo and his homies would take a private jet from Georgia to Cali. Once in Cali, where marijuana is legal, Ralo would buy large quantities of weed and fly it back to Georgia on a private jet. Once back in Georgia, they'll flood the streets and trap out the apartments that Ralo owned. So in a nutshell, that's how the operation was ran. However, Ralo didn't know his team was under investigation. Back in December 2017, Ralo and a group of friends took a private jet to Sacramento, California. When they returned 4 days later, the feds was already there, and they watched them transfer 37 packages wrapped in Christmas paper from the private jet to the van waiting outside. Like I said, this happened in December, so that's why they tried to play it off and act like they was Santa Claus. Once the packages was loaded up, 3 people from Ralo's entourage got in the van and drove off. But Ralo and the rest of the guys got in a separate vehicle. It just so happened that the derelicts in the van was driving in the dark with the headlights off, so that was reason for the feds to pull them over. Once they pulled them over and searched the car, they found 500 pounds of weed, which had a street value of over $1 million. That alone wasn't enough evidence to charge Ralo, but it turns out that the van was registered under Ralo's name, and if that's not enough, everybody in the van was wearing shirts that said Fam America and Fam Goon on it. Fam America is the name of Ralo's record label, so in other words, the whole van was wearing the latest Ralo merch. And if that's not enough, the very next day, not even 24 hours later, Ralo posted a picture on Instagram with a caption asking the world if they ever lost $1 million in a day. So let's recap. A van registered in your names get pulled over and the Fed sees $1 million worth of illegal narcotics from it, and the very next day you ask Instagram if they ever lost $1 million in a day. He might as well gave them a Dora the Explorer map to his house, cause he just 6'9'd himself. After that, you would think he would fall back from trapping and put his all in the music, but 4 months later, Ralo got on a private jet to Cali, and once him and his crew returned, they were seen loading packages in the back of a Chrysler 300. Feds swarmed in and everybody was arrested on the spot. This happened in 2018 and Ralo been sitting in jail ever since. He just now finished trial and he was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. However, like I said, he was sitting in there since 2018, so he got 4 years credit for time served and he got another 1.5 years shaved off for good behavior. He was also recommended for an early release where he would have to wear an ankle monitor, so Ralo should be home real soon, but still, that Instagram post was crazy.